Rachel.
And so am I.
And welcome to Funday Sunday Kidz.
Hey! And welcome back to Funday Sunday Kidz.
Have you had a good week?
Yes, by now we are through our first week of the new lockdown.
I know. Have you had a good time during lockdown though?
It's still been quite busy actually.
Yeah, it's busy here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell you what I did do though. I went to Cheshire Cupcakes last week.
Oh.
And I got me some just after lockdown actually, cupcakes and brownies. They were good.
Well, even though it's been busy this week, things are going to start getting a bit quieter. So, I've decided that I am going to try and learn to play the keyboard again.
Ooh!
Yeah, so are you guys going to do anything with your spare time? If you're going to do anything interesting, you could always let us know. Type it in the comments or send us an email.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, Rach?
What am I going to do? Well, I'll tell you, last lockdown, I really got into baking. And so I might try and get into baking again. Simply for the fact that I make delicious treats that I can then eat.
Cool. Well, next up, it is time
for a joke of the week.
And this week, Rach, who is doing the joke?
We have got our friend Norman coming here to say a joke for you.
So my question is this: why has Paddington Bear got no shoes? Because he has bare feet.
Thanks for that joke, Norman. Now it's time for our something fun.
Welcome to our something fun for this week. Can you guess what we're doing? Rach, tell them.
So this week we are going to try and draw some pictures with our feet.
So Rach is going to pick out, we've got a bunch of different things that we could draw, and Rach is going to pick one out of that little tub there, and whatever she pulls out, we've then got to draw with our feet and these felt tips. So, Rach, do you want to pull out the first one?
Okay.
What could it be? What are we going to have to draw?
A sunset. Oh dear.
Well, my colours don't really look very sunsetty. You've got better ones for a sunset. Right, well, here we go. So there's our pictures. Rach was putting hers through her toe like this, whereas I was curling all my toes around it and doing this, which was a lot more difficult. But you have to tell us which sunset you think is done better by our feet. Okay, so, are we doing another one, Rach?
Yes.
Right, shall I pick it out this time?
Yes.
Let's see. An aeroplane.
Ah. No.
Let's have some fun trying to draw an aeroplane. Here is my wobbly aeroplane. A jelly wobbly aeroplane.
Guys, you've got to have a go at this. It's really hard.
It is actually a lot harder than you think it might. And you should try out both techniques. Through the toe or like this and see which one you prefer. Right. Are we doing one more?
One more. Best out of three.
Best out of three.
It's a face.
Oh, a face? Feel like I could do that quite well. Here are our pictures.
So guys, why don't you email in and let us know who you think won out of the pictures, and we'll see which one of us gets best out of 3.
And why don't you have a go at home, see if someone, a brother, a sister, a mum, a dad, a grandparent, will also have a go at this with you and see who wins amongst you guys.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that fun? My toes feel stretched in ways that they never have before.
I got cramp in my toes. But it is fun, guys. It's hard, but it's fun. So do have a go.
Yes, maybe next time we try and do a drawing challenge, we could do a blind drawing with the feet. We'd have to put some bags down to make sure we don't draw on the floor, but that could be good.
Yeah.
But, Rach, now it's time to remember what we learned last week, which is funny. I've used the word remember. Do you remember?
I don't think I do.
Oh, surely you've got to. Remember.
Oh, Remembrance Day.
Remembrance.
That was it, as if I could forget.
I know.
Last week we looked at Remembrance Day and what that means, and we also linked it to someone else.
You were very clever. And you remembered that actually it reminded you of Jesus.
Yes, Jesus' ultimate sacrifice
Yes.
to bring us freedom.
Exactly, which is what we remember on Remembrance Sunday and Remembrance Day, that actually people have given their lives so that we might have freedom, and that is exactly what Jesus did.
And, wait a minute.
Oh,
We made our own poppies. Did any of you guys make a poppy? If you did, then send us in a picture.
yeah.
Because the poppies represent the war and represent the people that fought in the war and that are fighting now, and it's a way for us to remember them and show a sign of respect if we wear a poppy.
Exactly, and last week we did communion, remembering that actually communion is a thing that we do to remember that Jesus died for us, as well as having a cross as our symbol. We are to take communion to remember that Jesus died for us so that we might be free.
Yeah, so what is communion, Rach? What did we take?
Well, we took some juice, which is meant to be wine, but we use juice. And then some bread as well, because Jesus said he's the bread of life. And at his last meal, he shared some bread with his disciples, and he drank some wine with his disciples and shared that, saying, "This is my body, this is my blood. Do this in remembrance of me."
Yeah, but this week is the start of our new series that's gonna lead up to Christmas! It's November, we're allowed, I've got Christmas socks on. Every day up until January, I will be wearing Christmas socks.
Wow.
It is nearly Christmas!
She loves Christmas. Yes.
So we are going to do a short series in November up to Christmas, and today we are looking at God created
The world and everything in it.
So why don't we sit back now and welcome in the puppets to come and tell us a story?
Hey Elsie. Hi Jess, are you okay?
Yeah, what are you up to?
Actually, I'm just reading about creation and how God created the world.
What?
What, you really don't know?
No, you've got to tell me.
Okay, I'll tell you then. In the beginning, God created the sky and the earth. The earth was empty and had no form. Darkness covered the ocean, and God's Spirit was moving over the water. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and so he divided the light from the darkness. God named the light day, and the darkness night. Evening passed and morning came. This was the first day. Then God said, "Let there be something to divide the water in two." So God made the air to divide the water in two. Some of the water was above the air, and some of the water was below it. God named the air sky. Evening passed and morning came. This was the second day. Then God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered together so the dry land will appear." And it happened. God named the dry land earth. He named the water that was gathered together seas. God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth produce plants. Some plants will make grain for seeds, others will make fruit with seeds in it. Every seed will produce more of its own kind of plant." And it happened. The earth produced plants. Some plants had grain for seeds. The trees made fruits with seeds in it. Each seed grew its own kind of plant. God saw that all this was good. Evening passed and morning came, and this was the third day. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the sky to separate day from night. These lights will be used for signs, seasons, days, and years. They will be in the sky to give light to the earth." And it happened. So God made two large lights. He made the brighter light to rule the day. He made the smaller light to rule the night. He also made the stars. God put all these in the sky to shine on the earth. They are to rule over the day and over the night. He put them there to separate the light from the darkness. God saw that all these things were good. Evening passed and morning came, and this was the fourth day. Then God said, "Let the water be filled with living things, and let birds fly in the air above the earth." So God created the large sea animals. He created every living thing that moves in the sea. The sea is filled with these living things. Each one produces more of its own kind. God also made every bird that flies, and each bird produces more of its own kind. God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Have many young ones and grow in number. Fill the water of the seas and let the birds grow in number on the earth." Evening passed and morning came, and this was the fifth day. Then God said, "Let the earth be filled with animals, and let each kind produce more of its own. Let there be tame animals and small crawling animals and wild animals, and let each produce more of its own kind." And it happened. So God made the wild animals, the tame animals, and all the smaller crawling animals to produce more of their own kind, and God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make human beings in our image and likeness, and let them rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky. Let them rule over the tame animals, over all the earth, and over all the small crawling animals on the earth." So God created human beings in his image. In the image of God, he created them. He created them male and female. God blessed them and said, "Have many children, grow in number, fill the earth and be its master. Rule over the fish in the sea and over the birds in the sky. Rule over every living thing that moves on the earth." God said, "Look, I have given you all the plants that have grain for seeds, and I have given you all the trees whose fruits have seeds in them. They will be food for you. I have given all the green plants to all the animals to eat. They will be food for every wild animal, every bird of the air, and every small crawling animal." And it happened. God looked at everything he had made, and it was very good. Evening passed and morning came, and this was the 6th day. Wow, Elsie! That's a lot of things that God created. It's really cool, isn't it? He must have been so tired after making all of that. Well, you'd think so, but God doesn't get tired really, does he? But he did rest on the 7th day. Oh, well that's good. And he blessed the 7th day and he made it holy. And that's why we hear people sometimes talk about having a rest and having what they call a Sabbath, because God rested on the 7th day after all that work.
So it shows us that we need to rest as well after all the things we do and create.
Yeah.
Wow, there's just so many things on this earth that God made.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks, puppets. That was awesome. What a cool way to tell the story.
I liked
Little
all the
pictures.
yeah.
And God said that it was
Good! Yeah, so good.
Yeah, it was.
Now, you guys, when you're at school, might hear different stories about how the world's created.
Yeah.
And actually, some believe that the way that the Bible tells it, like we just heard, is literally how it happens. That is how it happened, literally.
7 days, literally.
Boom! Yeah. Whereas some people believe that actually 7 days, it's not as literal, but 7 days was like 7 periods of time. But then some people believe actually that it's a story written for us to understand that God created everything.
Everything. And that, Rach,
Is the point.
is the point.
That actually God is the one who created everything. And it doesn't really matter how he did it. The point is...
He did!
He did!
Even the little creepy crawlies!
Yeah, some things we might wish he didn't make, like moths. I hate moths.
Or mosquitoes.
Not-
Why?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of spiders either. Rach knows very well about my fear of spiders. But the point is, God made it all. Even like our cats, or our dogs, or our hamsters, or the trees. He designed everything.
And us!
Yeah.
In his image. How cool is that?
I know. Literally everything that's natural that we see with our eyes, God designed and made.
What a reason to praise God.
Exactly.
So even when you're walking in the fields or in the forest or even just sitting in your garden looking at the plants and the flowers or sitting with your pets, you can thank God because he made all of them. Or while you look at your parents or your siblings and your friends, God made everything.
You know what? We know a song about that as well. That lives with the world and God. So shall we sing it?
Yay! He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got the birds and the trees in his hands. He's got the birds and the trees in his hands. He's got the birds and the trees in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the ants and the lions in his hands. He's got the ants and the lions in his hands. He's got the ants and the lions in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Got the teeny tiny baby in his hands. He's got the teeny tiny baby in his hands. He's got the teeny tiny baby in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me in his hands. He's got you and me in his hands. He's got you and me in his hands. He's got the whole world 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 in his hands.
2, 3. Bye! It is time to end another episode.
But we hope that you enjoyed it today and we look forward to seeing
your pictures
Yes!
of your drawing with your feet. Yes. And also, do let us know who you think won, whose pictures were best.
Pick Rachel.
Anyway, until next week, guys.
See you then. Hey! He like gave way.
I can see you like your little eyes.
The trees and the trees. Got the trees and the moon. Why? And it looks really funny. Oh. You're starting. You started. You started.
Wow! What was that? Wow! Wow! Oh! Oh! Wow! Oh!
You do.
It was good. Bye!
No, you were just gonna go.